Hello guys, Dello304 here, and I just have a quick kind of rant video about new PC manufacturers. And not just Dell, not just, I'm going to go into complete detail, but basically I'm going to talk about why, just kind of like a rant on new computers, and let's just get started. Let me just start explaining things because I can't really explain it in a sentence. I started in the computer business about 5-6 years ago, and I've owned over 30, probably on the upwards of 50 computers in my lifetime. I'm only 14, almost 15, so that's quite a bit. I've taken apart numerous Dell laptops. I can do pretty much any Dell laptop. I can take apart pretty much any Dell laptop. But all of them that I have taken apart, with the exclusion of this computer, which is about 8 months old, have screws. I mean, come on, dude. For example, my Latitude E6400 right here. When, the keyboard, for example, the keyboard has screws on it. And I'm just typing Google things right now. The keyboard has screws on it. You remove this top power button cover, and, you get, there's a screw here, a screw there, and a screw there. Or maybe there's just two, I forget. But the point is there's screws to hold the keyboard in place. And, it's fairly easy to do as long as you have a screwdriver. And that goes with pretty much any other Dell laptop I've ever worked on. But that's not the case with this computer. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just there are no screws for this keyboard, which on the upside you don't need any tools to remove it except like a plastic scribe. But on the downside, it's kind of difficult to do if you don't know what you're doing. In this case, I've never taken apart a brand new computer, so this is all new to me. I just wanted to take apart the keyboard. I just removed the keyboard and kind of do some cleaning under here, and even though this laptop is brand new, pretty much, there was dust and dirt around the corners, and the fan was kind of dirty, so cleaned all that up. But my point is that there are these little tabs right here. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. Now what you have to do is you have to take a little plastic scribe or like a screwdriver with a microfiber over it so you don't scratch the chrome over here. But you basically put your thing in there, or your never mind. You put your screwdriver or plastic scribe or whatever in there, and then you push in, you pull down, and then it pops out. There's no screws needed. Now I just did this, like I said, and it was pretty freaking difficult because I didn't really know how to do it the best way. Basically, I was just sticking my screwdriver in there, and come on, camera, focus. I was just sticking my screwdriver in there, and then just like pushing down, and then that didn't really work, and I kind of got pissed off. So what I did was I went and I tried going on the side of that. You see that little tab right there, that little like square rectangle thing right there. I just went on the side of that, like right about there, and I went in and I pulled down and I pulled up, and it finally popped out. But it was kind of difficult, and I was kind of worried about breaking it because I don't want to break my nice laptop. So yeah, I really, really, really don't like that, and that goes with a lot of things. The bezel on this computer, I've always had, my biggest problem with this computer is the bezel. When I first bought this computer a few months later, I reformatted the hard drive. I have videos on this, but my webcam wasn't working, and I contacted Dell support about it, and it wasn't. They said my video or cable for the webcam was bad, because I told them that I installed all the drivers, which I thought I did, but I removed the bezel, and there was nothing wrong, so I put it back, and then I closed the laptop and I went to bed, and then the next day I figured out that the bezel was not on. It was coming off on this side and this side, which right now it's fine. They replaced the bezel, and I did some gluing myself, and it's perfect now. But there's no screws involved whatsoever. There's just tiny little plastic tabs, and the plastic tabs broke on both of these sides, which I absolutely hate. I despise the bezel on this computer. I wish it was better. But that's no reason to not stop using it. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I Turns out I didn't install the chipset driver, so it was really my fault, but it wasn't my fault for the bezel being cheap ass. But I didn't really need to remove it. I didn't need to go through that. But that's not my point. My point is that computers have cheap ass parts these days. Now, don't get me wrong here. This computer is pretty darn well built. And don't laugh at me. Some people are saying, "Oh, Inspiron suck, buy a Latitude, blah blah blah." This thing, okay. I have had many Inspirons. I've had Inspiron 1501. I've had a 1525. I've had numerous older Inspirons. I've had a bunch of freaking computers. This computer is actually built better than the 1525, which was a 2008-ish computer. This one is actually built a little bit better. The structure, I mean, it's not up to, of course it's not up to par to a Latitude. You can't jump all over it and run it over with your car and crap, but, I mean, this computer's fine for just like a consumer computer. It's not built bad. This is all aluminum. This is aluminum. The back's aluminum. I mean, the only parts that are plastic are the bezel and the bottom, which isn't like super cheap either. Point is, this computer's built pretty darn well for being an Inspiron. Well, actually, most of the Inspirons I've had are built pretty well, so what am I saying? But, yeah, I'm just saying this computer has good build quality. It's just new computers these days have cheapened out. Well, not really cheapened out, but well, yeah, it is kind of cheap out when you don't put frickin' screws in it. But, it's just a small little thing, and it's kind of like, what the fuck, because it's not that hard to just slap a couple of screws on there and have it do it that way. But, I don't know. My point is that computers, I don't know, with this computer I've seemed to break a lot of things on it, like the bezel and the well, the first time I did this, I don't know if you can see it. You probably, oh, there's a light. Let's see, where's the second tab? Yeah, right there. You can see right there, those two marks right there above the tab thing, those are scratches because I used a metal screwdriver. But the point is that you should be able to just take a power button cover off, unscrew some screws, or take the battery out and the screws could be on the bottom. But anyway, just anything better than tabs, because tabs break, and then when they break, you're kind of screwed. Screwed, yeah, no pun intended there. But anyway, yeah, this video is already longer than it needs to be. That's just my little rant on the way laptops, laptop, OEMs do things these days. It's just not as good. But like I said, I'm not trying to convey that this thing is built cheaply. It's really not. Like, I'm not being biased or anything. It's really not built cheap. It's built pretty darn well. But that's just my little rant. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.